What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe, and in this video we have three awesome pieces of kit that I want to show to you guys that SeeedStudios sent out. So we have more MeshTastic content coming to you in today's video. So what do we have? Well, we have the SenseCap tracker from Seed. Right there. We have the Wio Tracker L1 Pro, which is just more of like a radio than a little puck. And then we have this bad boy right here, the SenseCap solar node, and this is the node P1 Pro. So let's break these down, talk about each one of them, and take them out for some real world testing. Okay guys, I think let's start with the small stuff first and work our way up. And so this is what you get in the box for the SenseCap. So USB-A to a magnetic charger, and then the device itself right here. And then that's what the back of it looks like, and you can see those charging pins right there. This thing is tiny. Like, I don't know what I expected when they told me they were going to send this to me in the mail, but it's way smaller than I thought, and I'm dropping it, way lighter. That's an LTT Linus moment right there. But this thing is only 32 grams. It's 6.5 millimeters thick and 85 millimeters long. So not even 4 inches long, about 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's IP65, and it has a temperature sensor and a light sensor built into it. I also believe that this has a GPS, or I would assume it has a GPS built into this, like most of them do, but I could be wrong, and you will probably figure that out later in this video. So this thing can help you get weather data. It's kind of like a puck that just connects to your phone. You can have hanging off a lanyard. It's a lot more easy to hide, right? It's inconspicuous, right? It's harder to know that someone may be using it. Like, you might just be looking down your phone and talking to somebody over a total encrypted channel that nobody can eavesdrop on you thanks to this, and you don't stick out like a sore thumb with a, I wouldn't say a goofy radio, right? But a radio that would make it a little bit more obvious as to what you're doing. And then this claims to have a rechargeable battery with 2 days of battery life. So we will take this out on our testing, but that's just a quick little overview. And so let's get on to the L1 Pro. So this is what comes in the box with the L1 Pro, the radio itself, and an antenna. Now, one thing to note compared to the previous radios I showed you guys, this does not have any type of gasket where the antenna goes, but it also is open air in the back, which I'm assuming to help with some cooling, and also a little audio sensor. So that is something to note, that this isn't going to be rated like the SenseCap is, which is IP65. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this antenna onto our radio, and there we go, nice and light, just like that. So this can support different sensors, but I believe from what I'm reading, it doesn't come with them by default. You can do things like, you can add pressure and temperature sensors to this device, humidity sensors, and a heart rate and oxygen level sensor, as well as, it says, I2C keyboard, which would be the card KB sensor model. So that would require it to come out of this case. People have taken these out and modded them, but the motherboard is essentially what will give you that capability. Not necessarily saying the radio right here itself will give you that capability. So we're just going to break down kind of our I/O on this. So right here on the front, we have a 1.3-inch OLED display. So it is not an e-ink paper display like the last radios we reviewed on the channel were. This smaller front left button is our menu button, and then this is a 4-way joystick right to the right of it. So you might be able to see that we can move that around and it clicks. Just like that. So you can select stuff. On the back, where that empty air hole is, there is a buzzer found within there. And then we have a somewhat heavy I/O side. So we're going to start from the top down. So that top button is a reset button. The button below that is a power button. And then we have a yellow LED mesh status, the USB Type-C. And then there is a red LED for a charging status, and then a yellow LED for a solar status if you take this out of the case and attach it to solar. So let's see if we turn this on. Oh, one thing I do like about this power button is it is a push up on and off switch. So it actually toggles. It's not like press to hold or down. And then it says, welcome to MeshTastic. Use the select button to open menus and make selections okay. So I'll just give you guys a quick little view of what that screen looks like when you log in. So interesting, on this main display, if I just click that little arrow, it turns the screen off, or the selection button, right? So you could probably use that to save yourself some battery life. And then if I just do the down on the joystick, it gives us a 2 broadcast long frequency, and then you click select a destination, free text, hi, bye, yes, no, okay, or exit. So you pretty much have like these little quick presets that you could maybe respond to a message or something if it was sent to you. And so I'm just gonna go down and just put exit. And then, okay, I like this. I like this layout. This layout on this screen being an OLED screen versus an e-ink display, it's supported a little bit better by MeshTastic. That's the main screen, but if I click to my right, or if you're looking at the radio to the right, if I just do one over, there's your messages screen, so you can see if you have any messages. You have the last heard screen right there. You have bearings, so you could potentially get a direction. You have your satellite positioning, and so it says no GPS lock, so that's not going to be accurate at the moment. It also has your altitude, it looks like, in meters, but I don't see anything on there. And then you have your roll, so US long frequency, 906.875 megahertz. And this is actually something I got corrected for on my previous video. I assumed it was just right there at 950 megahertz, and I said, hey, I don't see anybody on my radio, even though I was in a big open area looking at hundreds of thousands of people across the Great Salt Lake. Well, I was on the wrong frequency. So don't worry, in this video, we will make sure we are on the right frequencies, which is used in the United States, which I believe, and from that comment, is 906.875 megahertz. So if we go over another screen, we can see that we have the version we're on and our uptime and if any apps are connected to our device or not. And then you have a time screen, so you can keep track of the time if you don't have a wristwatch or whatever for some reason. I'm assuming you're going to have your phone with you to connect to this, but for some reason if you don't, or you don't want to pull your phone out, or you're trying to save your phone's battery because the battery on this will probably last longer due to its simplicity, you can see the date and time on there. And then just back to your main screen. So very interesting. I will say I think I am kind of converted to the idea of an OLED screen versus a e-ink display screen. And so also just real quick, they claim that this does 5 hours of battery life and that it also supports Bluetooth 5.0 if you are wondering. And you can look at these all linked down below in the description. So let's get over to our actual solar node. Okay guys, sorry why brain farted there is because we have the L1 Pro for the radio and then the P1 Pro. So I was trying to not mix up the two names, but this is how it is presented to you right out of the box. So I opened it just like that, and then we have our device right here. And this thing is hefty. Like, this does not feel cheap. This plastic actually feels quite hard. And like, if I take this and I crank on this, like, there's no flex, there's no bend at all, which is very interesting. And the solar panel is 5 watts according to their website. And you may be asking, what's the difference between the P and the P1 Pro. Well, this comes with 4 18650 batteries as well as a GPS module, the ZOO L76K GPS module built in. So we're going to cover some more of these specs here in a second, but well, let me show you the back real quick. You can see that we have 2 mounting screws as well as the information, and then a little hole for our antenna to come out of this solar node. And then on the bottom, we have a whole bunch of, there we go, get some light on there. We have some light indicators. So we have a power button, a reset button, a USR button, and it looks like a power button, a battery button, a light button, a frequency, and a human. And then there's a 5 volts in type C port that has a little waterproof insert around it. So let's break these down in a little bit more detail after we go over what else is in the box. So in the box, we get another USB-A to Type-C cable for charging or flashing. We get our antenna. So this is a pretty big size antenna. I believe this does 5 dB. Let's go ahead and check. Okay, so their website is showing the gain as 2 dBi, and this is a rod-shaped rubber antenna, and it supports obviously the frequency ranges of 868 to 915 megahertz. There's 2 other pieces in here, and you have essentially your mounting brackets. And then last but not least, we have our hardware in the box just like this. So let me go ahead and put this together. Okay, I take that back. We actually have a couple other pieces to move around real quick. We have the band for a pull, as well as it looks like an antenna extender. Okay, and just like that, this is set up. They just had a decent little menu to follow along with, their instruction manual. And so you have your panel as is, and then you have that little bracket that allows you to tilt it up and down towards the sun to get yourself some distance so you can tilt it. Your antenna goes back here in one of these few holes that they have available for you to use. And then that goes down to a bracket right here with a little metal clip that you can use to tie this down onto something, just like that. And so you're good, just like that. Also, I didn't notice any weatherproofing on any of these joints. Now this one's faced sideways and out, and then your cable goes down enough that the water would drip, and then you would also get it to drip out the bottom of this antenna because it's facing down. So hopefully it's not a problem. I did notice there's a little hole right here on the antenna, so you could bend it out in a direction if you need to. So I'm not sure if water could get down into there and into that sensor anyways or not. But I mean, this is rated and is designed to go outside, so I'm sure they thought of it, or this can handle it. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you how to flash one of these. It's all the same for the other ones. You would just pick the specific device from the menu. But let's do that right now. Okay guys, I know this is a little bit of an abrupt ending to this video, but I kind of decided there's a million videos showing you how to flash these devices and it's really easy. But I have another video linked down in the description of us going out into the real world and testing these devices. And there's a little bit of B-roll of the cool background at where we went and tested it. So I hope you guys go click that video down below in the description and see these devices used in a real world scenario. Thank you for watching. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.